I'm Alessandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at TPM 2016 with Roger Guenther, Executive Director of the Port of Houston. Thanks for joining me today, Roger.
It's great to be here.
It's been a year since we spoke. Let's start with a bit of a recap. How was 2015 and what do you see ahead?
Yeah, it's been real quick. It seems another year, but 2015 was a tremendous year at the Port of Houston. We had a lot of growth. If you'll recall, last year at this time there was a lot of diversion cargo coming through the canal into Houston. So as a result of that, our business was up about 12% on the container side last year, so which was really good. And overall, our tonnage was up. We surpassed the 2,000 TEU mark for the first time ever, so we enjoyed a tremendous growth in Houston in 2015.
So what do you see for 2016?
We have a lot of opportunities for growth, not only in the export of plastic resins, which is an important part of what we do, but also on the import side. You know, Houston in the Texas region continues to grow faster than any area in the nation. So we have a lot of opportunities on the import side, seeing a lot of growth. Asian trade is our largest growing market, both import and export. So we're in good position, we think, for a very healthy 2016 as well.
So there are 6 petrochemical facilities coming online this year. How are you preparing for the increased cargo flow related to that?
Well, we've been preparing. It's something that we've seen coming from a long time. It's along with the shale play activity that's been going on in Texas for many, many years. So because of that, there's an abundant supply of cheap natural gas, which really forwarded the construction of all these facilities. So they've come to us telling us what their expected volumes are for export of these materials. So we're making a tremendous amount of investment, over $300 million in investments this year, primarily in our container terminals. We've recently purchased some new cranes. Those are in operation at Barber's Cut, modernizing that facility, as well as continuing to expand the container facility for capacity and growth that we're expecting. So we're doing a lot of things on the technology side to make sure that we continue to handle this volume and throughput in an efficient way.
What other areas will be impacting the port in such a big way?
Well, the Panama Canal, we certainly expect that with the expansion, we expect to see more services come through the canal. Both for the import and export. And so we're making those provisions. But also we recently announced that we have partnered with a firm to put more cold refrigerated capacity in our facility. Refrigerated warehouse, rail served is going up in our adjacent to our Bayport terminal. And you know, we've partnered also on export packaging facilities for resin. So in a lot of areas we're expanding our reach to make sure that that cargo goes through the Port of Houston. So, you know, in the real estate market is very hot there. A lot of importers have relocated and set up distribution centers in our region, and we think that talking to a lot of different people, and we think there's a huge appetite for that to happen, to continue to happen as well.
How are you addressing market growth trends?
Well, we are, you know, reaching out to those opportunities, and again, by investing in the Port of Houston to make sure that our carriers have the slots in the equipment, working with the truckers, working with the transportation infrastructure that we have. That's very important to us in our region. So cargo coming through our port can get to and from the market without congestion. So we're very engaged in the whole region and making those investments that are necessary to move freight. You know, we're the largest port in the Gulf. We're going to continue to be that, and we think there's much more opportunity for the Gulf in general for cargo, especially with the Panama Canal. So, you know, we like to say we're ready, and we are ready. You know, the last thing I'll mention too is on the channel side. We know the ships are getting bigger, so we'll continue to make those improvements to handle those larger ships. So across all fronts, we're making those investments.
Well, thanks for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you.
I've been speaking with Roger Guenther, Executive Director of the Port of Houston.